Hello everybody, and we are going to go through the Pilates exercise called shoulder bridge. So really important with this exercise that there are a couple of conditions where it's not appropriate to do this without modifications. And that is if you have osteoporosis. So if that is the case, it's really important that you just skip past this exercise and have a look at the video that just does some very simple modifications for osteoporosis. So come back onto the mat. And once again, you're going to start in your rest position. Now, it's important to know with bridge that some people do this without a head block, but I just encourage people to do this as comfortable. But we want to check that we're not getting a lot of pressure in our neck. So long through the head and neck, collarbones open, shoulders soft onto the mat, feeling your shoulder blades relax, ribs nice and heavy and soft, making sure your feet and knees are hip width apart. And we're going to once again just find that center. So as always, I'm going to just go through what the exercise looks like, and then we're going to put it all together. So shoulder bridge, I'm going to do it with my arms down and then my arms across the chest so that you can see. Just do it with my arms across my chest. Okay, that's called shoulder bridge. So this is an exercise that helps start to move our back segmentally. That means trying to get each part of our spine waking up and moving. Again, we're all really different. So some of us will find that there's certain parts of our back that just feel a little bit stiffer, and that can improve with time. So the first thing to do in this movement is we're going to just practice our pelvic tilts. So just rocking forwards and backwards. And what I want you to notice is that as you rock your pelvis back, as you squash that air out, your tailbone lifts up. As we go down, your tailbone may come in contact with the mat, but it definitely comes closer. So you're going to just rock back and feel that tailbone lift up a little bit. You may be aware that as you rock back, there's a very slight tightening in your bottom. So the shoulder bridge is an exercise to help open up the back, but it's also an exercise that we use to really work our bottom muscles, or as we like to say, our glutes. So when we do this exercise, we're really trying to ensure that we're not feeling any pain or pressure through the legs or the hips, the knees or the feet, and definitely keeping our upper body relaxed. So from here, I am going to keep my arms kind of up so that you can see my back. We're going to imagine that we're trying to peel our spine off the mat bone by bone. So tucking that bottom under, so as if you're doing a backwards tilt of the pelvis, slowly keep lifting up, bone by bone by bone, making sure that there's softness in the back. Now from here, so you've got this big space under my back, I'm going to imagine that I've got an orange line painted down my spine. And I'm going to see if I can paint my back down, bone by bone, by bone, by bone, by bone, and then my bottom is the last thing to go down. So we're going to tuck that tailbone under, just gently rocking back, squashing that air out. And let's see if we can just lift that line up off the mat. So then my pelvis lifts, my belly button, my lower ribs only going as high as you feel comfortable, keeping softness in the back, and then we're going to lower down. So my ribs are going to start to lower. then my belly button, then my waist, and then my pelvis. Just keep going, rolling up, trying to do bone by bone and understanding that it's going to take time, and then rolling down bone by bone. We'll do one more and then I'm just going to show you a couple of common mistakes. So maybe with this, if you're feeling it quite strongly in the legs, just think about a little bit more pressure through your heels as you tuck your pelvis under and you roll up. And as we roll down, maybe even using your hands to kind of be aware of what's happening through your glutes, your bottom, feeling them release as we lower down. Now, if your glutes, your bottom is quite strong, you're not going to feel very much with that. If you're relatively weak, you may feel that that's quite a lot of effort, and only go as high as you feel comfortable. A couple of things that we don't see commonly in the standard Pilates bridge is when we take the bridge straight up. So it looks like this. I put my hands across the chest so you can see it. We just push up, we come down, and then we push up and we come down. We tend to find that that can overwork people's backs and a lot in the hips. So just for this bridge, we're not encouraging that. Look at the difference now. This is when we roll up bone by bone. I'm staying much softer in the hips, keeping that lovely gap. My spine, if I put my hands, it doesn't feel like it's locked. And then I'm rolling down bone by bone. So again, the other way that we can do something that can be uncomfortable for people's spine is that as we lift, we can keep going, pushing up as if we're really trying to push up off the mat. And then we can collapse down. Now, sometimes that can be used in classes, but it's for a specific reason. But the main technique of your shoulder bridge, the Pilates shoulder bridge, is that rolling up and that rolling down. As if we're kind of painting that line with our spine. Sometimes I imagine like a little steamroller, so rolling up or down. You may hear me talk about like a string of pearls, as if I'm peeling up a string of pearls and I'm placing them down bone by bone. So we're going to just practice that, just engaging our core, and then we'll pop it with breath work. So engaging your core, just see if you can roll up. If the core lets go, that inner core muscle, those center core muscles, just gently tighten it again and down bone by bone. Just getting used to thinking about a movement, engaging that core. Now, can you notice that my feet and knees are staying hip width apart? Just see if that's possible for you to do that as well. If you find that that's quite achievable, that you can engage the core, you want to come on to breath work, just come into this next part of the practice. Going to breathe in to engage that center. As we breathe out, we're going to roll up bone by bone, keeping our head and neck relaxed. Breathe in to hold, breathe out, lowering down bone by bone. Breathe in to engage that core muscle, breathe out, rolling up that spine bone by bone. Breathing in to hold, breathing out, lowering down bone by bone. We're going to do 3 more, resting at any point. Breathing in to engage, breathing out, just tucking under, rolling up bone by bone. Checking that my neck is soft. Breathing in as I hold, breathing out as I lower down. My toes relaxed, breathing in to engage, breathing out, rolling up bone by bone. Only as high as comfortable, breathing in to hold, breathing out. And then the last one, breathing in to engage, breathing out, rolling up bone by bone. Breathing in to hold, breathing out bone by bone. Now you may notice that as you're up in bridge, that things are quite wobbly, that your knees have a mind of their own. And once again, as we strengthen, as we become more aware of our center, this all improves. It should feel comfortable, you should feel in control. Just be patient with yourself and take your time. So once again, that's the shoulder bridge. And for any of you who do have osteoporosis, that is an exercise that you cannot do in that traditional way. And have a look at the osteoporosis video for some very, very short modifications.